We're doing the podcast. See my arm, this arm come up like this? It's because I was muting to rip ass.
What? Oh my god, dude. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Gaming Effect. We're here with episode 18. I'm your co-host, Alex, aka Soldier First Class.
And I am Corey, aka Dookie03.
And we are here to talk about quite a bit today. We're going to be talking about Summer Games Fest, as it just happened today. We're going to be talking about job class systems, which actually works because we have Metaphor that's coming out, and that game deals with job classes, among other ones.
And we both have jobs.
And we both have jobs, you're right.
Just like
and
our favorite video game characters.
Yeah. And just a few other things. So let's get right into it. Don't forget we're on Spotify, iTunes, and my YouTube channel. So be sure to share, like, rate 5 stars, do what you got to do, and get the word out there about the Gaming Effect. So, we're going to get started like we normally do. What are you playing, or what are you excited for currently?
So I'm playing Dragon Quest Plus for the first time. It's like, I generally don't ever play fan games, but everybody's been like hyping up this game, and it's like a fan remake of the original Dragon Quest with like a bunch of stuff added to it. And it's been pretty good. It's really hard. Like, at the beginning, it gives you an option if you want to play on easy, normal, or hard. And I was like, oh, I'll just go normal, expecting, because it looks visually like the Super Famicom remakes. So I was expecting, and those are like quite a bit easier than the original like NES game. And so I was like, oh, I'll just go normal. It'll be like, I wouldn't want to play it easier than the Super Famicom remakes, right?
Yeah.
But it's about as hard, if not harder, than the NES version, actually. So I've died a lot, but it's been pretty fun.
I'm beginning to believe that fans will actually have the HD 2D remakes of those games out before Square Enix does.
Yeah, well, so the announcement may have already happened by the time this podcast goes up, because there's supposed to be a Nintendo Direct on June 11th, I think, or something like that. And there's going to be like all the leaks have been saying that they're going to be announcing Dragon Quest HD 2D remake, and they're going to be saying that it's going to be all 3 of the Erdrick trilogy games instead of just Dragon Quest 3. I did a whole series of videos and stuff on it on my YouTube channel, but yeah, so it sounds like we're going to be getting the entire Erdrick trilogy, which is fucking sweet. And hopefully it's already announced. Better yet, hopefully it's already out by the time this podcast goes up. I'm really hoping they just shadow drop it, like, you know how they do on the Nintendo Directs all the time.
Yeah,
it's just like, it's out now. I'm like honestly expecting that, because it's been like 4 years since they announced the game, and they showed some gameplay back then even. So
now, is it going to be on all consoles or just the Switch?
It's going to be on. It's not on like PS4, I don't think. It's like PS5, and then whatever the Xbox equivalent of PS5 is, and then the Switch.
Okay. And you have a Switch and stuff like that, right?
So yeah, I have a Switch, yeah. We've been like, a bunch of people on my stream and stuff have been joking, like, Duke, he's going to buy a PS5 to play Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3.
The only game that you found worthy to buy a PS5 for.
An old NES game remastered.
But that would be the move, though, because I mean, look at how many I have a lot of money in my PC, and I still play emulated games. So
yeah,
it's just funny that you buy these huge expensive rigs, or you buy a console just to play old games.
Old games, yeah. And then I'm also doubly hoping that it comes out soon, because I've been doing my Dragon Quest versus Final Fantasy series of videos, and I'm kind of waiting before I play Dragon Quest 3 on the Switch, because I might be getting 3 to 1 and 2,
right?
A much better remake than
which those videos take you long enough anyway. You'll be able to play like Final Fantasy 3 and get through that, especially with the Pixel remaster.
Yeah. Well, I already did Final Fantasy 3. Just that's the last game I played before.
Oh, that's
before
right.
This one.
That's
and it was
right.
actually pretty good. Like I remember absolutely hating it when I played like the Famicom version a long time ago, and I fucking hated it. And there's still like a lot of the bullshit parts are kept in there, but overall it's like way better in the Pixel remaster, and it's actually a pretty damn good game if you if you like Final Fantasy 1 as much as I like Final Fantasy 1, and I really do. It's almost on, like, if you took the bullshit parts of it, it would be on par or better than Final Fantasy 1.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is that why you wanted to talk about the job system?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know why.
Well, I was wondering because
and I've been playing, like, I made a new character on Dragon Quest X. I've been playing like a lot of Dragon Quest.
Oh,
10,
okay, yeah, that makes sense. Well, yeah, and we have been playing that, so yeah, that makes sense. And speaking of job classes, we'll get to that later. But so I have been playing. This is gonna probably not shock anybody, but I've been playing Elden Ring again in preparation for the expansion coming out, Shadow of the Erdtree expansion.
When does that come out?
June 21st.
Oh, okay.
So pretty quickly, and I'm fucking excited. I'm actually streaming Elden Ring right now.
Yeah.
Been doing a no summons run, so it is just me versus everything. I can't have any assistance. I can't have NPCs summoned in. I can't bring in friends, and I cannot use Ashes of War or like Spirit Ashes. I mean, so I literally
can't. What do Spirit Ashes do?
So Spirit Ashes are like basically like summons in other games where you bring them out and they like do damage, or they help buff you, or they like cause
is it
kind of
like in Demon Souls where you're just summoning like another player though?
Yeah, it's basically like you're summoning another player, but there's like very specific things they do. Like
okay.
There's one called Mimic Tier, and since like the game launched, it's been the most broken summon there is, like, because it is literally you. It copies all of your abilities, it copies all of your weapons.
Like a shadow clone from like the old Ninja Gaiden NES game?
Basically, yeah.
That's cool.
But it has its own health bar, and it's a tank. And then you can like upgrade it to make it do more damage, to make it more tanky, like stuff like that. You upgrade all your Spirit Ashes. So like you use Gloveworts and Ghostworts to level
upgrade.
Upgrade, and you can get them to +10, and at +10 they're like max level. And there's like two very specific summons in the game that are just insane, and one's Mimic Tier and the other is Black Knife Tish. And like she's fucking insane, dude. Like she literally,
what a name.
She's like an assassin, and she does this it's called like burn status. And it takes a chunk of the enemy's health bar and just makes it useless to them.
Oh, nice.
So, and then it applies like a burn effect to where they take damage at a consistent rate until the burn wears off.
Those are like my least favorite status effects. Like Final Fantasy 12 had one that was like that. Do you remember? It was in one of the like the mines or something like that where it locks your maximum HP cap. So you can't like heal past where you're damaged, and it keeps like, But
this is for you. So it's for the enemy. So it's not like you don't take that damage the enemy does. It's pretty fucking sweet. And it helps too. And then obviously, like, I'm excited for the DLC, the expansion. I'm really fucking excited for Shadow of the Erdtree. I've also been playing like a side save file of Dark Souls 3. Because I'm doing like more clips and shorts and reels and stuff like that for social media and like YouTube and TikTok and stuff to kind of jumpstart my channel and the Souls community. And so I've been playing like a side thing of Dark Souls 3 so I can upload some clips and do boss fights and stuff. And I almost no damaged the first boss of the fucking game, and in the very last strike, I got hit. I was so pissed, dude. But I mean, I beat him in one try, but it was just annoying that like that whole time
could have had that too.
I'd been so perfect, and then that very last strike, I got hit. I was like, fuck. But I've been really enjoying the Souls game, the gameplay loop lately again. obviously, like, Dawn Trail's coming out, but I've been in kind of this weird phase lately where, like, nothing Square Enix is doing right now is really hitting for me. And so I'm worried about going into Dawn Trail because I don't know if, like, I'm that hyped, especially since I'm probably not even going to play it at launch because Elden Ring's expansion comes out
right around the same time.
Yeah, it comes out June 21st, and I think it's a week later or maybe a week and a half later Dawn Trail comes out. And I'm streaming Shadow of the Erd Tree a few days after it launches. So, like, I'm not going to have the time to go into Dawn Trail
after.
So I'll have to play it after I get done with Shadow of the Erd Tree if I'm like in a gaming mood that day. But like I finished Rebirth and like it was good, but it, like, obviously I didn't like the ending, so I got the platinum and I haven't touched the game since I got the platinum. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've been doing is just playing like Souls games, Elden Ring, and then just getting ready for the DLC, and I'd say that's probably that. I mean, that is what I'm most excited for, and it's been what I've been most excited for for a while since it got announced. Because like, I wasn't that hyped for Rebirth,
No.
and
you were hyped for 16. That was probably the last game you were like, super hyped for.
I would say I was super hyped for 16. I would say I'm more hyped for Shadow of the Erd Tree, if that's even possible, because I was pretty hyped for 16. So. But yeah, so that's about it for me too.
When are you gonna play the original Souls series? Huh? Mega Man. I would say Castlevania is like the original Souls series, kind of. Hey.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, at least like not modern Castlevania, anyway.
No. Like Castlevania 1 and 3, even 2, really, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah, because people don't realize that like a lot of the Souls like formula is very Metroidvania in nature, especially Dark Souls 1. Like maybe not so much like Dark Souls 3, but definitely Dark Souls 1 for sure. Because of like the interlocked map and stuff like that. Like it's pretty close to being like a Metroidvania and everything, but like 2D format.
Yeah.
But so, the next thing we're going to talk about is Summer Games Fest. So, Jeff Keighley, to his credit, said this is going to be a light year for games. Don't like go into this show expecting like a
bombs, basically.
Like a post-credit scene, like, you know, a Marvel movie where, you know, we're going to have but wait, there's one more announcement. He said there's not going to be that. He said this is a light year for games, so you know, don't get too hyped that anything major is going to be there today. And like, I respect that because he's like, just, you know, a lot of people get way too hyped for these shows.
Yeah.
And they start being like, oh, this show sucked. This was fucking stupid. I hate this show. Blah, blah, blah. Bring back E3.
I hate this show. Yeah, bring back E3.
But the thing is,
Booth Babes?
The thing is, there was no expectations because nobody had announced like, hey, yeah, we're gonna be at Games Fest. It was nothing. Like, there was no to me there was no hype going into this show whatsoever. Like, no,
not really.
And they did say that they had the most viewership that they've had. Like, they had more viewership this year by, I think he said 37% than for last year's Games Fest. So, like, I don't know. I think people were setting themselves up because I know a lot of people were like upset about Kingdom Hearts 4, even though he clearly said it was not going to be there. And he was like, dude, and that was such a stupid thing for people to be mad about. They're like, well, he completely, he was talking down to Kingdom Hearts fans. No, he wasn't. He was literally like, I've heard this a million times. No, Kingdom Hearts 4 is not going to be there. I don't know why people keep asking me about this. Like, no, it's not going to be there.
It's going to be there for sure.
And everybody was losing their fucking minds over it. And I'm like, you people need to fucking calm down. Yeah. Like, Jesus Christ. Every time we go through this, and it's the same shit. Oh, fucking, they hate Japanese games. They're talking down to people that like Japanese. Shut up, bro. Like, fuck. It's not that big a deal. He wasn't like shooting your dog in front of you. He just said Kingdom Hearts 4 wasn't going to be there.
Well, that's like for the upcoming Nintendo Direct. They're like, there will be no talk of the next Switch. And so everyone's like, that means they're going to be talking about the next Switch.
Yeah. It's like,
no, they told you that so that you don't have those. Watch. It'll be like a couple days before this podcast goes up, and all these details about the Switch 2 were talked about on the Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, that'd be funny as fuck. Here's my thing. When I go into these shows, I look at it this way. There are things that I want to see, but things that I don't expect to see. Like, so I did get a little ahead of myself because a guy posted a picture on Twitter of him and Hidetaka Miyazaki, the guy that does Soulsborne series from Software. And he was there in LA for Summer Games Fest. And everybody was kind of like, oh, he took a picture with somebody there, you know, maybe he is there to announce something other than, you know, maybe the DLC's coming out, so maybe he's there for that. Or, you know, PlayStation kind of did like a tease of they've added Bloodborne merch to the store. So they added a Bloodborne like character to the new Astrobot game.
Oh,
so
dude, that game looks good. I don't even like 3D platformers at all, and that it gives me like Ratchet and Clank vibes, like big time.
Right, and that's the thing. Like everybody was like, "Oh, Miyazaki's going to be there, so there's going to be some big announcement, like Bloodborne remake or Bloodborne 2 or something like that." And it's like, no, like. If you go into the show thinking that there's gonna be something there, you're gonna be disappointed.
You're setting yourself up for.
And then every fucking clickbait YouTuber is gonna be like, "This was the worst fucking show ever. Jeff Keighley promised so much, but no, he fucking didn't. Like, just fucking stop, please."
Classic Jeff Keigles.
Yeah, like, goddamn, dude, these people. I swear to God, if there wasn't some fake controversy for them to get mad about, the internet would just be silent.
Yeah. I still think like there were a lot of good. There's like a shit ton of good like little indie games and stuff announced. Like that's kind of mostly what I caught.
Yeah, I agree.
Some of the main stuff, but a lot of the main stuff just looks like super samey. But a lot of the indie stuff looked fantastic.
Yeah,
dude, the one, oh my god, because like I could see like the chat on the YouTube stream of it, and the one, it's like this girl's like it's like a third person like mountain climbing game or something. I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
It was like Saris or something. Anyways, all the things on the in the chat, it was like, oh, so it's like Celeste but bad. I was just dying, dude.
Oh, is it Cairn? Is that what it was called?
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. It's like Celeste, but bad.
I low key want to see that Among Us TV show, though.
Uh-oh, you froze up. Oh, very good. What's that?
I said I low key want to see that the Among Us TV show.
Dude, I want to see the Yakuza one. That's gonna be either incredible or terrible.
Yeah.
I think it's on what? Is it on Amazon? I think it's gonna be on
Amazon Prime. Yeah, dude, that's gonna be awesome. Like. Yeah, I hope it's
awesome or really bad.
I hope it's awesome because they've done a really good job with Fallout. I've not watched it yet.
Yeah,
but I need to.
Heard that one's really
The
good
Boys
too.
is fucking incredible.
Yeah.
And then Invincible's on there, which that might not be so much Amazon's doing, but more so the showrunners.
X-Men. Did you watch X-Men 97?
I haven't yet, dude. I need to.
It's so good. It's like the best show ever.
I watched fucking Godzilla -1 though. So I don't know. I went into this Summer Games Fest with like zero hype, and I think really the only thing that I even really gave a shit about. I mean, there's some cool stuff, but nothing that like
Power Rangers beat 'em up game.
Dude, the Power Rangers game looks fucking sick. I cannot wait to get a hold of that. I think for me, Black Myth Wukong was probably the biggest highlight of the show. It got a release date. I can't remember. I think it's October 21st, maybe. I don't remember. I need to look at it again. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. I bought the collector's edition for that. It's pretty fucking sweet. It does come out October 11th. And then I did enjoy the fact that Street Fighter is getting Terry from
Yeah.
Fatal
Terry
Fury.
Bogard. And they showed a little bit more of the new Fatal Fury game.
Right.
That's pretty hype. I love Fatal Fury so much, and it's been so long since we got the last Fatal Fury game we got was on the fucking Dreamcast, bro, and I didn't even like that one.
I know you have the hat too, don't you? Still,
yeah, I do.
The other game that I thought was really cool looking was obviously Metaphori Fantasio.
Oh yeah, that looks good.
It does look really good, and we'll talk about it a little bit more later when we get into the job classes stuff. But yeah, I think that one looked really good. I'm not really much into like Civilization, so Civ 7 didn't really do much for me.
Oh yeah, I bet it's amazing, but yeah.
Star Wars Outlaws looks okay. I think it looks really good, like graphically. I don't really think I'm that hyped for it though. I don't know. There's something about it. I kind of wish that like
Star Wars is kind of like dead to me. It's kind of been like that for a while now.
Well, see, I've really liked the Star Wars like Jedi games, like with Cal Kestis, Fallen Order, and Survivor were both really fucking good. So, but they're also Souls-like. So
yeah,
and Star Wars. So two of my favorite things in like together. It was just a perfect combination. The other thing that was funny though was Cuff Bust. You need to see the trailer for that because it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, you were telling me about that.
It's like I don't know how you would explain it, but it's these alien mice, and they're trying to escape from prison, and like I'm pretty sure it's obviously I think it's like an online team game.
Okay.
And you're trying to escape from prison or whatever, and like at the very end of the trailer, there's two of these mice laying on like beach chairs, and they're smoking joints together, really? And it's fucking hilarious, dude. Like it's an indie game, and I believe it's the same. It's the same guy that did Choo Choo Charles.
That like horror game.
Yeah, it's the same guy.
Looks cool, man.
And it's a one-man development team.
What kind of graphical style is it? Like, is it 2D or?
It's 3D, but it's. You're not gonna go into it thinking you're gonna play something that a high-end PC or console is gonna need to play it.
Okay.
Just so you're aware. Yeah, graphically, it's not like super intense or anything. It's like very
stylized.
Yeah, it's more stylized. Yeah.
Yeah. That's usually what I prefer, though.
Yeah, I mean that it looks like it's gonna be like a fun. I don't know if it'll be like Among Us levels of fun, but it definitely looks like a fun game to play with your friends and stuff.
Dude, you know what game looked sweet? That you bringing that up reminded me of that fucking Bean game. What the fuck's it called? It's like Action Bean. I don't know. He's like a bean, and he's just like dual wielding pistols and like blowing people away and like fucking stealing cars and shit. And it looked fucking awesome.
I'm not sure.
Apparently, I looked it up even because it used to be. Apparently, it was like a web series, and then the web series got canceled, and then so they decided to like make a game instead. It looks fucking awesome. I don't know if it's called like Action Bean or Killer Bean, maybe.
It is. I'm not really sure what it was called. Oh, Killer Bean. Yeah. Yeah, Killer Bean.
Sweet, man.
And
it's just like they're like, they created me and now they must pay. Like he's got like this dark, like like edgy fucking backstory, and he's like this fucking like bean.
Yeah, I also need to play that in Atria, the last song demo too. It looks like a Souls-like, I'm pretty sure. It is a Souls-like. Yeah, that Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Reader's Rewind looks fucking
that looks
sick,
good,
dude.
Man.
Did we get a release date on that?
I didn't catch one, but maybe we did.
Yeah, I didn't catch it either, but
it looks good. It looks like it's similar to the TMNT one, kind of. Hey, like
yeah, it looks like a more arcadey one though. Like really, like a lot of enemies on screen, not just like 4 or 5 or 6 or whatever. It looks like it was like maybe that was just one of the game modes, but it looked like it was like
There's a lot going on.
Almost like a giant party game.
Well, and then because then there's other. It's not strictly beat 'em up, right? Because some of the levels look like almost all the other genres of game. Like, because there's one where you're like shooting, you're like driving in towards the enemy, shooting stuff, and
it
kinda
reminds
has, like,
me
what's that? Wild Guns on the Super Nintendo.
Oh yeah.
Kind of reminds me of that.
Well, it kind of reminds me of the NES or the the Super NES Power Rangers game, but a little more arcadey.
Yeah.
Like, I really love the Super Nintendo Power Rangers game. Like, I went back and played it last year, and
The Genesis one's better.
It was still really, really good. And I'm like, the soundtrack was a fucking banger.
Yeah,
like,
the soundtrack's really good. You got to play the I think it's Power Rangers the movie on Genesis is probably the best of the classic Power Rangers.
Really?
Games.
Do you get to play as the Zords?
Yeah, and they're broken as fuck if you're playing co-op.
you play the Megazord in the Super Nintendo one. Like, you play 2 different stages, I believe, with the Megazord.
Okay.
And it's really cool.
The Genesis one, it's broken because one guy plays as the Falcon Zord, and the other guy plays as, I don't know, I think it's the Thunder Megazord at that time, right?
Yeah,
and
I think so.
And so you could just you can basically like uppercut with the Thunder Megazord, and then the fucking Eagles just like fucking electrocuting him and shit. And you can just spam that till the guy's dead.
Other than that, I really don't think.
You know what, dude? Did you ever play the? There was that Power Rangers. So there's the Genesis and Game Gear fighting game, which was like, it's okay.
Yes,
I played the shit out of the Game Gear one. But have you ever seen the Super NES fighting game? It's all like Megazord battles and shit.
Yes, I have seen that actually.
That game's awesome.
It is awesome. I played it a little bit on my PC not too long ago.
I think it was the same guys that did that Gundam Wing Endless Duel game, because that was fucking good too.
Man, it sucks that I don't play Call of Duty because they added Gundams. Like, what? Gundam. Yeah, they added Gundam operators to Call of Duty.
Call of Duty?
I'm pretty sure it was Call of Duty.
That is, I've never, weird.
Yeah, it was cool looking. But other than that, like, I really didn't. Summer Games Fest really was kind of like, I don't want to say disappointing because I really didn't have any expectations going into it, but it was like just kind of lackluster, like, because of previous Game Fests, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just didn't feel like this year, and maybe it's just gaming in general. You know, we've had a lot of layoffs over the last
no doubt
6 months, and so like, and games are taking longer to come out. Their budgets are bigger. Like,
honestly, like with my backlog, I don't mind the slow year for games.
Right, and that's the thing. Like, last year was so packed.
Yeah, well, the
with
last
games,
like so many years, honestly. Like, I feel like we've been on a tear since like 2018 now, where it's been like we've had bangers to look forward to every single year.
Right. Yeah. Well, and last year was so packed. Like, we had BG3, we had Spider-Man 2, we had so many games last year. Like, Baldur's Gate 3 was probably my game of the year last year if I had to really like quantify it. I don't know. I'm trying to remember what all games came out last year because there were so many.
There's a bunch. I put like 90 some hours into that Dragon Quest Monsters 3, like the Dark Prince.
Forgot about that game. Yeah. What game came out around that same time too that I was playing? Because
I don't remember.
There was a game
Fantasy 16 probably, man.
Well, Final Fantasy 16 came out last year. Yeah, there was just a lot that came out last year, so I kind of understand this being a light year for games. And I don't know. I feel like that's a good thing too, because like, I am looking forward to the DLC of a game that came out 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And so I'm not like looking to play a new game. I'm playing the game that it's attached to, so I can get in that, like, I can make sure I'm not rusty when I go into that DLC, which is still going to beat my ass because it's a Dark Souls, or it's a Soulsborne DLC.
Yeah, but at least you'll be like as prepared as you can be.
And the DLC, it's more about a skill thing. Like, I'll be able to like play up to my ability, which actually I think doing this no summons run that I'm doing has made me 10 times the player that I was even before I started it. And I've beaten the game 6 times already. And I feel like this is the most rewarding and most like satisfied I've been with Elden Ring since I played it. And that's coming from somebody, like I said, who has beaten it 6 times. So for me to have been playing it the 7th time and get the satisfaction of knowing that I have become a better player over this last 2 years from playing these games and beating these bosses without summons, because I would have never been able to do that the first or second time I played these games. But now that I've gone through them, it's been, something that I've been able to accomplish. And so I'm glad that there's not a lot coming out this year. Number one, it saves my wallet.
Yeah, exactly. Games are fucking expensive now.
Right. Well, especially when, I love collector's editions. Like, I buy collector's editions. Like, in my background right now, I have 2 major collector's editions sitting here on my desk. I got the Spider-Man 2 one that's fucking massive. I've got the Final Fantasy VII Remake one, which is Cloud on the bike, which is insanely big too. So, like, I love collector's editions. If you look, even, like, you can't see it because I'm literally in front of the camera, but if you were to turn my camera around and look at my TV stand, I have every Final Fantasy XIV collector's edition and statue on my TV stand, plus my God of War stuff. Like,
right, I remember the God of War one.
That shit is expensive, and I'm glad that I don't have to sit here and pay for a collector's edition every fucking 2 months or whatever. Like, I think I've got 2 collector's editions right now that I've got on order, and that's the Shadow of the Erd Tree and the Sparking Zero one. And I literally just did the Sparking Zero one today.
Right.
So I'm kind of glad we have a lull in the action when it comes to games.
Exactly. The only collector's editions I really get, like, if it's a new Dragon Quest game that I've been looking forward to, I'll try and get one. And then the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster on the Switch, I managed to snag the collector's edition of.
Well, and for you, it's a little bit tougher too because, like, your prices are so high for everything.
Yeah,
like,
dude, for like a regular game, it's like $100 a game, pretty much.
Now, do you have to worry about like import tax or anything like that? Like, if you're buying from like an international supplier?
I don't know. Amazon charges taxes.
Okay, well, because I wasn't sure if you had like an import fee or an import tax.
A few of my friends actually have been buying their games from PlayAsia and stuff because the Japanese yen's so weak right now that it's actually cheaper for us to just like import games from Japan than it is to buy them. Yeah.
Now, do they come in English versions or is it like the Japanese version?
So you gotta check. You can some of them are have both languages, and then a lot of them, if you get like the Asian version, it always has English. I shouldn't say always, but like 99% of the time.
Right. So, yeah, I think that covers about Summer Games Fest. Let's hop into games. Do you want to do the games that genre hop or the job class system first?
Genre hopping maybe first.
Okay. So we were talking about this the other night because we were talking about the podcast and we're like, what do we talk about? And you had mentioned that like spin-off games or, games that kind of went out of their normal genre to produce something. And I brought up Crash Team Racing.
Yeah, that's
and we're like
one.
And we're like, yeah, that's the perfect one. And
yeah,
for me, like, Crash Team Racing is one of those games that, like, I played the absolute fuck out of that game.
Same. I think I like 100%ed it back in the day.
I was a huge Crash Bandicoot fan.
Oh, really?
And I also loved Mario Kart and stuff like that. So when Crash Team Racing came out, I was like, fuck yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't get so much into Crash Bash, which was like the Mario Party.
I never played that one.
It was like the Mario Party version of Crash Bandicoot, and I didn't really get into that. But I don't know. There's a lot of games that jump genres, and I don't know so much that it's for their benefit. Sometimes it works out really well, like Crash Team Racing.
I think it's almost always for their benefit, because, like, I don't know. Think of, like, I guess usually once you have your niche, it's harder to branch out, I guess. But with the amount of, like, new Dragon Quest fans that we got because of, like, Dragon Quest Builders, because it's like a Minecraft-y style game, right?
Well, and Monsters.
And then the Monsters games. There's so many people so many people when I was like doing my Dragon Quest Monsters videos and stuff, as the game was like about to come out and I was releasing all this news and stuff. I met like all these people that like literally grew up playing the Dragon Quest Monsters games and have never played a Dragon Quest game other than the Monsters series. And I
Right.
was like, really? Like I was like surprised by that. But yeah, there's like a whole bunch of people, or they got their start with the Monsters series, right?
Right.
And they were like on back on like the Game Boy and Game Boy Color, and they're like, "Fuck yeah, I can't wait to play this because this is what got me into the series." But yeah, I've gotten a lot of like people from like Builders 1 and 2. They brought new people into the series because because they play one of those games and they're like, "Wow, this is like really good storytelling," and then it's also a good game of that genre as well, right? Like it's a good, especially Builders too. Like I hate like Minecraft, like building and survivally shit games. And Dragon Quest Builders 2 was actually a really good game. The first one I like forced myself through it, but the second one was like it's got a really good story. It's got they streamlined the building too. So like you can like save like preset builds. So you can have like where you like literally hit a button and it'll put like a fucking house down right away, basically, right? And then you can build onto that and customize that. So you're not going fucking block by block like you do in like Minecraft and shit like that.
Right. I think one of my favorite spin-offs maybe of all time is Pokemon Puzzle League. Have you ever played that?
Oh no, I haven't.
It was on the well, probably not because it was on the N64 and I'm pretty sure I remember you not liking the N64, is that right?
Piece of shit.
Yeah. So, Pokemon Puzzle League was like one of the probably games honestly, if I had to put a number on it, I would say it's probably one of the games I've spent the most time playing maybe ever.
Really?
Yeah, it's so I guess I should probably tell this story because like
What is the game too? Like is it just
So-
like Mario Party with Pokemon basically?
no. So Pokemon Puzzle League is like
Remember Sonic Shuffle? That was awful. Anyways, keep going.
I'm not sure. It might be a similar type of game, but it's basically like it's a jumbled like blocks, and if you match 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, or it's like you match them or whatever, and then like you can combo them with like the same. Like if you kind of like Tetris, how if you clear a line, and then when that line drops, it clears the line below it.
Okay, yeah.
And it like combos and stuff like that. It was kind of like that. But I would almost have to describe it. I would almost have to like send you a video of it so you knew exactly what it was. Because
is it kind of like Columns? Have you ever played Columns?
I'm not sure. I know that like so you are facing an opponent, and when you face that opponent, like you're both trying to combo each other, and like I'll just
kind of like Puyo Pop.
I don't know exactly how to. It's so hard to describe it. I don't really know.
It's like its own like unique puzzle game kind of thing.
Yeah, let me just send you like a clip of it so you can see what I'm talking about, because it doesn't make sense for me to just tell you. Because I don't know exactly how to. It's a puzzle game, basically.
Right.
But anyway, I spent so much time playing it, like it's ridiculous. Like fast forward to
yeah, dude.
Okay, you'll see it in the preview.
That's like basically Yoshi's Cookie. You ever play Yoshi's Cookie?
Right. Yeah. Okay, so
it's similar to Columns as well.
Right. Okay, so. Anyway, I probably put more time into that game than most of the games I've played my entire life. And it's because when I was a kid, this is going to sound super fucking sad, but me and my mom played a lot of video games together, kind of. Right. Like, if there was a game that she enjoyed, she would play them with me, right? Yeah. Well, Pokemon Puzzle League was like our game. Like, she would play it with me, and we would play all the time. Mm-hmm. And so I would play by myself. I would play the game with her. Like, it was just one of those games that I could not put down when I wasn't at school. And so when I was a kid, this is all I would play. This and Pokemon Stadium, and like I was
Pokemon Stadium was good.
Obsessed with Pokemon when I was a kid. So a lot of my gaming experience in like when I was 5 and 6 and 7 and all that was Pokemon, and Final Fantasy. So, it being a spinoff is funny because I never looked at it that way until obviously I got older and realized, yeah, it's a spinoff,
Yeah.
But I would say games like that, Mario Kart, Crash Team Racing, stuff like that. Like, even I would consider Dissidia
I was gonna say, what about the GOAT, Final Fantasy Tactics?
Right.
That's like the greatest spin-off of all time.
It is a spin-off, but I almost don't consider it one because it's still...
It's a completely different genre.
It's still a turn-based RPG. It's just...
Yeah, but it's a tactical RPG.
It's a tactical RPG. So there is that distinction, but...
I don't like tactical RPGs, and I love that game.
It should be a mainline.
I think even when I did my top 10 Final Fantasy games video, I put it at number 3. Like, I considered it like a mainline. But it's that goes to show how fucking good of a spinoff it is.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. It's no Stranger Danger Paradise, mind you.
The problem is that when they make spin-offs now, a lot of them are mobile games. And it's like
not good.
And they're all gacha mobile games, and they fucking cancel them after like a year.
Yeah, not even
or less. And it's like okay, they made that fucking FF7 Fortnite, and it's like you only put it on mobile phones. It would have worked better on PC and console, but instead you only put it on mobile phones, and then you canceled it.
Could you imagine? I couldn't even imagine. Like, not that I played Fortnite like a bunch, but I've played it a few times, and I would never want to play Fortnite on my phone. That'd be horrible.
Right. And so, like, why not put it on Steam or whatever?
Yeah.
And because the gacha elements are still going to be there, why not just keep them there and put them on PC and console? Like,
yeah.
Fortnite obviously does really well with microtransactions, so I don't know. It's some of their practices are so weird when it comes to that stuff. Like, they always chase trends like 3 years after they're popular.
Yeah, and they're like, this isn't working. Let's shift to something else.
Right. So
it's like you wasted all that money again.
The money, the time, the development teams, like,
yeah.
I don't know. It's sometimes spin-offs are fucking terrible, like Dirge of Cerberus, and then other times they're fucking great.
Dude, people are like looking back on Dirge of Cerberus with like the rosiest colored glasses lately.
I know.
What the hell? Where did all these Dirge of Cerberus fans come from?
It's the 10-year effect, dude. After 10
remember Dirge of Cerberus?
After 10 or more years, people start looking at everything with rose-tinted glasses, even if it's unadulterated dog shit.
I played that for the first time, I want to say 2 years ago, maybe 3. And honestly, like, the first 2 or 3 levels are fine. Like, it's kind of fun. And then you're like, I got to do a whole game like this though. Like, cuz it controlled bad too.
Yeah.
And it went on too long, and they tried to do stuff that the game wasn't good enough control-wise to pull off, and then it was just like a mess. I wanted to blow my brains out when I had to play as Kate Sith. Like, holy fuck.
They don't make playing as Kate Sith in Rebirth any better. Because because there's a part where you play as only him, and you have to do like boss fights, and you have to throw boxes, and you have to do like, there's just a bunch of shit you have to do. And it's like easily one of the worst parts of the entire game in Rebirth. But
then we had good spin-offs like Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core with your boy Zack, the Soldier First Class, your namesake.
God, I hate you so much. I hate you so much. I fucking hate that game. I don't care. Dude, fuck it. You know what?
There's a lot of dumb, shitty stuff in it, but I do like it overall.
I fucking hate Crisis Core. I have spent so many years walking on eggshells around Crisis Core fans, and I don't care anymore. I really don't. Fuck Crisis Core. That game is ass, and I don't care.
I like it.
I don't like it. I fucking hate that game. I've always hated that game.
Do you like Advent Children? That was fucking awful.
Yeah, I don't like Advent Children either. Basically anything outside of the original 7, I'm not a big fan of. Like, I enjoyed Remake and I enjoyed Rebirth, but I hate both of their endings. And so, like, they still don't compare to the original for me. And like anything external of the original just has been
What about
not,
Ever Crisis?
fuck that. Dude, I
The
downloaded
gotcha game.
Dude, I downloaded that being like, I'll try it. I'll give it a chance. And then they fucking hit you with 900 fucking pop-ups.
No.
Before they even allow you to play the game. They're like, here's all the gotcha systems. Here's how you do this. Here's how you press on the screen with your finger.
Here's how you put your parents' credit card in.
Yeah, and it's like, dude, I just want to play the fucking game. I don't care about these pop-ups. I don't care about fucking 50-50s.
The pop-ups are the best part of the game.
Or whatever. I'm like, just fucking let me play the game. And I just got so tired of it, I just fucking deleted it. I was like, nope, I'm done. I'm not doing this. Like,
sometimes spin-offs create their own series, though. Like Mega Man Legends. Mega Man Legends was Persona.
Yeah,
but Persona was still the same genre as
right, but
Shin Megami Tensei.
So
but it is a spin-off.
But don't tell fucking SMT fans that.
Same damn game.
Yeah, Shin Megami Tensei is, well, I'm sorry, but Persona's better. Anyway.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Yeah, Persona's way better. Persona is fucking just so great.
Well, you
now,
usually only have one party member in SMT, right?
I don't know.
Your monsters, I think, do all the fighting.
SMT 5 is supposedly really good. I have it, but I haven't played it yet.
So 3 is supposed to be really good as well.
But Persona is so fucking good, dude. It's Persona 5 Royal especially. Persona 4 Golden's good. I haven't played
Persona. There's like those Persona fighting games too, right?
Yeah, and rhythm games too. I need to play Persona 3 Reload too. It's on my list, but obviously, like, it's not going to be for a while because it's a 100-hour fucking RPG.
Yeah, I know. That's why I haven't touched that series.
I've got a 30 to 40-hour expansion I've got to get through.
I have the one Persona fighting game and I've played it, but I don't. That's the only Persona game I've ever actually played. Is some random fighting game.
It's funny that you say that too, because Persona 5 actually had its own spin-off.
Yeah, it's like a
Strikers, and it's an action like.
It's kind of like Dynasty Warriors style, right?
It's like Dynasty Warriors, yeah.
And it's like a direct sequel to Persona 5, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a direct sequel to the base game. It's not a direct sequel to Royal.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, it is weird. I don't know why they did it that way, but especially since it came after Royal, like much after Royal.
Yeah. It was like a couple of years.
But I actually haven't finished it. I kind of, it was okay. I don't know, something about it I just didn't really get into.
I like those styles. Like I'm generally not like a hack and slash guy, but when it comes to like Dynasty Warriors, for some reason I really like them. Like,
right.
Obviously Dragon Quest Heroes 2 was really good. Dragon Quest Heroes 1 sucked ass kind of, but 2 was so good because it, instead of being like straight up Dynasty Warriors, like select the next stage and then play a big battle. Sorry, not Dynasty Warriors. Dragon Quest Heroes 2 was basically an open world action RPG, and you had like job classes and like all these different skill trees and stuff to level up. Like it felt like a Dragon Quest game that was an action RPG. Like it did a really good job.
Speaking of, did you see that Dynasty Warriors is getting a new game?
Yeah, that Origins, it looks pretty good.
It does look pretty good.
Yeah.
But speaking of Persona, Atlas is coming out with Metaphor Refantasio. I think that's how I don't fucking know how you say it.
I think that's what it is, yeah.
I don't really give a fuck either. Anyway, so they're coming out with that, and this kind of segues into our next topic, but it also keeps in line with our spin-offs thing. Like,
tell us some of your spin-offs. What are some of your favorite like genre jumping spin-offs and stuff like that?
Yeah, tell us some of your favorite spin-offs.
So many. But like I was gonna mention like Hyrule Warriors. I haven't played it, but that looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Like there's so many, like I always love it when a great series can make a great spin-off. The Chocobo dungeon games, fuck me, those games are so hard, but they're good. Well, I don't know if the other ones are hard, but Chocobo's Dungeon 2 was on PS1 was so fucking hard.
You know, it's not necessarily a spin-off, but I guess technically it is. Pokemon Stadium.
Yeah. Those are good.
But it also has a spin-off minigame cycle in it with what the fuck was it called? Was it the daycare or the kids corner or something? the game corner or whatever,
Yeah,
and it had
yeah.
where you could do like all these mini games and stuff
Yeah,
with Pokemon. And
I
if you
would play the second one and just play the mini games.
and if you owned the Pokemon that were in those mini games, you could actually bring them into the mini games.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
The second one, I believe, if you had Scyther, Skeezor, fucking Pinsir, or someone else, you could actually bring them into that wood cutting mini game.
Oh, that's cool.
And do it that way. Yeah, I loved the mini games in that.
Dude, speaking of great fucking Pokemon spin-offs, Pokemon Snap.
Yes. Have you
Dude,
played the
that
new one?
game's like, it's even better.
It
The new one's
is
even better than the old one.
I know, it's so good.
They're fucking good. Those
They
games,
are
man.
fucking good. So let's get into job classes. So the reason why I wanted to talk about Metaphor was because Metaphor actually revealed, like, at Summer Games Fest, that there's going to be over 40 job classes, and they actually transform your character into that job.
Okay.
And like, there's like, they almost look like personas a little bit, but they're basically like job classes or whatever. And I think that's really cool. You can level them up. I think they said you can evolve them and stuff.
I feel like 40 is too many job classes, though.
Yeah, but if you look at Final Fantasy Tactics, it had a shitload that you could unlock.
Yeah, that's true. But I only ever used like maybe like 10.
Right.
How many? There's no way there's 40 in Tactics.
Well, let me look it up. You keep talking.
I would guess that there's like 16, or yeah, I would guess like 16.
I'm gonna
I just
say
remember like the big wheel, right?
I'm gonna say 30, but
You think 30?
Yeah,
not including the PSP remake. I've never played that one.
Okay, let's see. Keep talking and I'll
But yeah, you don't want too many job classes. And I say that selfishly because I usually only stick to like a select few. But I guess for people that like trying them all. But if there's 40, you're never going to try all of them. You know what I mean? It's just too many goddamn job classes. And then you got games like...
there are 28.
28? Holy shit.
Yep.
It doesn't seem like that many.
Oh, wait. No. Hold on.
I usually stick to like Dragoon, Knight. Dude, in Final Fantasy Tactics, I always go Ninja so that I can like dual wield weapons, and then I go Knight, and then I carry my dual wield weapons, and I do that item dupe glitch and end up with 2 Excaliburs. And then I can
So technically, there's 42.
Holy fuck. Are you counting like guest character like with their own though? That's cheating.
Actually, I think that was 45. Well, I guess some of them are guest characters, but it's 30 roughly if you...
Holy fuck, it didn't seem like that many.
Yeah. But I mean, if you think about it, like, there's prestige jobs, there's regular jobs, there's like base jobs, like there's a bunch.
Yeah, you unlock more powerful versions of the job. Yeah.
Right. Well, and some of them, like you get Cloud Strife in your party, and he's got his own job as soldier.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like those don't count. Like,
well, it kind of does because he's a playable party member.
Yeah, no, I know, but I'm talking just like
right.
characters.
Right. No, I get you. I like games.
That son of a bitch.
Right. Thunder God Sid.
He's the goat, man.
I like games that don't necessarily give you a job, like you kind of create your job. But I do love job systems. Like I love Final Fantasy Tactics.
Final Fantasy 5.
Final Fantasy 5 had jobs. That's kind of why I like Final Fantasy 7 a lot with the materia system, because like anybody can do any job. And
that's why I hate it. Well, one of many reasons why I hate it.
Yeah. And Final Fantasy X actually kind of had a semi-job system
at the start, and then you can just fuck off and do whatever you want.
Right. And if you do the advanced sphere grid, you can just do whatever you want from the beginning.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like you can take
you pick where you start, or what?
Yeah. No. So you start in like a circle, and the path that you're supposed to take, quote unquote, is like where your characters start. So like Yuna's gonna start where Yuna would technically want to
Normally.
start, but like Kamari will start where he would normally start, but it's in a big circle. So like if you wanted to, you could take Yuna down Lulu's path and it wouldn't cost you like a lot of sphere levels to get there.
Yeah. What I would always do is get Yuna till she has like all her white magic and get to where she can get like holy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll get Lulu just so that she can get like Firaga, and then I'll use that one where you can swap to another characters,
Right.
and then teach Yuna like all the Firaga, Thundaga, and all that, and then switch her back to White Mage. And then it's
Right.
like Lulu, you just toss Lulu in the garbage basically at that
Yeah,
point.
because Yuna is the most powerful black mage in the game.
Yeah.
So really what sucks about that game though is that like if you want to do end game stuff, like the dark Aeons, you basically have to go with Waka, Titus, and Riku. And
I
I
just use
and I
Yojimbo.
and I don't really like that. Like I would rather be able to
Pay
I would
someone 3 gil and have them take care of it for
well
you.
no, I would rather be like I would want to use Orin. Like I like Orin.
Yeah, I like Orin too.
So I don't know. I don't mind games to do that. Like, okay, for example, Souls games, you can kind of pick what type of job class or character you want to do. So if you want to be like
a build.
Right, if you want to be like a knight, you can wear, a sword and a shield and armor, and you can be that sword and shield kind of guy, get buffs that help that build or whatever. Or, if you want to be a mage, you can be a mage. Or if you want to be like a combination of the two and use like magic imbued swords or, stuff like that, it's viable. It's a viable strategy. And you can kind of switch jobs back and forth however you want based on your build. Or if you respec your character, you can do a different build or whatever. So that's kind of why I like that type of system too. It kind of gives you the freedom to pick your job, quote unquote.
Yeah. I kind of like how like it all started though with like Dragon Quest 3 and Final Fantasy 1, where you kind of like you pick the job classes at the start, and then that's kind of in Final Fantasy 1 that's kind of like you're kind of stuck with them, but then you can kind of upgrade them, do like an upgraded version of it. And then Dragon Quest 3, once you're like maybe like 3/4 of the way in the game, you get to like the Dharma Temple or All Trades Abbey, I think they call it now. And then you can like switch job classes and you keep a percentage of your stats, but you go back to level 1. And I love that because if you play your cards right, you can end up with like this super OP character, right? Like you can level them way up and then go back to level 1, keeping a percentage of your stats and level them all the way up again as a separate job class. But I pretty much only ever changed like a priest into a sage or something like that. Like
Right.
I almost never even changed the job classes in that one.
Well, it's
But
like
go ahead.
in tactics, I'm trying to remember what it is, but I think you get the monk class all the way up, and then you get the ninja all the way up, and then you go back to being a monk, but you still get the double attack from the ninja.
Yeah, well, I was telling you earlier, I would always get like I'd max out the ninja, and then I go to a knight, and then I'd use that item dupe so I could dual wield Excaliburs as a knight, because then you can wear the heavy armor and you're attacking twice every turn with like the heaviest fucking weapon in the game.
Right.
Like I would always do shit like that.
Yeah, I think the monk ninja combo is one of the most broken in the game, if I remember right.
Yeah.
But
I also probably my favorite like way to do a job class system is I really like Dragon Quest 9 and 10, where every job class has like maybe like 5 or 6 skill trees, and like if there's 6, 5 of them will be like their weapons that are specific to that class, and then the sixth one is always like just specific to that class, but all like the stat gains you would get from filling up that skill tree carry across all the different job classes. So it gives you a reason to like play and level up each job class and stuff like that, to like just min max the shit out of your character. And then in Dragon Quest VII, the original, like on the PS1 version, I can see why the 3DS game changed this because it made you super OP. But in that game, any spell or skill or anything that you learned when you were in one job class stuck for the rest of the game. So you could be like a mage with like fire slash and stuff like that if you had already learned it as a prior job. And I just remember I think it was called like the maritimer or something, or the mariner. It's called, I think, pirate in the newer games. But if you made your first job class or second job class pirate, you could get Tidal Wave, which costs 0 MP and is basically like summoning Leviathan in a Final Fantasy game. And then no matter what job class you switch to after that, you're just like OP as fuck because you can just spam Tidal Wave.
Final Fantasy 12 actually added the job system
in the Zodiac Age,
in the Zodiac Age version, and it's really good.
It made the game so much better, honestly.
Oh yeah, 100. Dude, the Zodiac Age is probably the best way to play the game.
Oh, it absolutely is. That's such a good.
That's the thing about Final Fantasy's remasters is that, to me, except maybe 8, I like 8's remaster, but I don't agree with it. There could have been a little bit more effort put into it, but I think the remasters have been the definitive way to play the games.
Oh yeah, well, 9, the fucking menu in 9, like the battle menu, it's like touchscreen looking instead of the original.
I'm more so mean like
toggle that, man.
I'm more so mean like the HD remasters, like 10, 12.
Presentation.
Right, like 10's like face models look weird in the HD
remasters compared to I don't know why they redid them.
But the definitive way to play the game, not just the visuals, I think the 10 and 12 remasters are just absolutely incredible.
Yeah, except 10 comes with 10 too. But you just throw that in the garbage.
Right. I just break the disc in half so that I don't have to play.
Yeah, so only the 10 half plays.
Right. Somehow it still clips in. I don't know.
Dude, I remember when like the PS2 first came out, and then somebody was like, yeah, you can play dual layer DVDs. And then this one fucking kid that I used to hang out with, I don't know what the fuck he was thinking. He had like Final Fantasy X stacked on top of another game, and he had them both going in there. And his fucking PS2 sounded bad. Like it was not meant to be like that. And you could like just hear the discs like scraping together. I was like, what the hell are you doing? He's like, you can play dual layer DVDs. And I'm like, I don't think that's what it means though, man. I don't think you put 2 fucking DVDs in the PS2.
Dude,
like,
I remember
like what does he think was gonna happen?
Dude, I remember when like the Xbox 360 came out and you could put it on like its top. Like I think it was one of the like I know PS2 you could do the same thing, but
like stand on its side.
Right. But when I got my my Xbox, I actually I don't remember what game it was. One of my games got ruined because I had set it on its end and it fell. Like it didn't like fall off the thing I was playing.
It flopped over though.
But it flopped over and it shredded that disc.
No, it just shattered it probably, hey?
Well, it didn't shatter it, but this whole bottom of it was just fucked.
No way.
Yeah, I don't remember what game it was though. I know it was a game I was definitely playing a lot at the time. Yeah. And that was back before I had like jobs and stuff, so I couldn't just go out and buy a new disc.
Were there like chunks of pieces of disc in the console?
No, it was just the bottom was just scratched to fuck.
Oh, I see.
Like it was just real deep scratches.
Oh fuck. Do you ever see those videos of like a disc drive exploding?
No, I haven't.
Dude, they fucking like it's just like boom, they just like shatter and it's like everywhere. Cuz they're spinning so fast, right?
Right. Dude,
crazy.
I tell you what, when the PS4 Pros came out and they sound like jet engines, like they sound like they're gonna fucking blow up.
Yeah,
dude.
my PS4, I was playing Doom. What is it, like 2016 or 2018 or whatever? And yeah, my PS4 sounded like it'd be like, it's just going. I'm like, oh my god, dude, it's gonna blow up.
Yeah, it does sound bad.
Yeah.
So Tactics, I would say, was probably my favorite job system.
Best job system and best spinoff.
Right. The music's great. The fucking game's
Music is
phenomenal. The
good,
story's
too.
great. Like Yasumi
It is.
Matsuno is a legend.
It's
I
good.
love Yasumi Matsuno.
I think, man, I don't know. I think the best job classes have ever been done was, I think, Dragon Quest 9, honestly. And 10's is like very similar, but 9's is a little bit better because you know how in Dragon Quest 10 when you level up, like say you're a warrior and you level up swords in your skill tree, but then you change to another job class and swords go back to 0 skill points.
Mm-hmm.
In Dragon Quest 9, if you leveled swords up to like max or whatever, it would stay max on the next job class.
Well, that's what Dragon Quest X does too.
No, swords won't carry, like your weapons won't carry forward.
I thought. Oh, you mean your weapons? I thought you meant the
Yeah.
stats for them.
Yeah, no, the stat gains do. And they do that in 9 as well. So 9's the same as 10 except if you level up like your weapon to max it out. Dude, and then there's like you can get, once you max it out, you get like a bonus quest. So like say you maxed out like boomerangs in 9, then there'll be like a guy in the world that you can find that's like this like boomerang enthusiast or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll get like the boomerang quest, and then you get like a final boomerang attack, and then if you complete that quest, you can use whatever weapon that is. You can use that weapon on any job class once you've completed the final like mastered the weapon quest.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah, it is cool. But yeah, that one's probably my favorite. It's not my favorite Dragon Quest, but it did job classes the best. But Final Fantasy V is up there too because you can kind of use two job class. Like you can learn something from one, and that's what Tactics in five is very similar. Tactics just probably goes into more detail. I
Mm-hmm.
would say, hey.
Now, how did you? It's been so long since I played it. How did Tactics Ogre handle it?
I don't remember. It wasn't even that long ago that I played it, but the job class system was really good in it.
Oh, another good one's Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Oh, I've never played a Fire Emblem
Dude,
game.
Fire Emblem Three Houses is really good. I think you'd like it. It's tactics basically, but you get different job classes. Like you can ride animals and shit with one. Like I think there's one where you can ride is it a dragon? It's either a dragon or just like a giant bird, but yeah, it's really good. I think I want to say Triangle Strategy had a job system too.
I bet that game looked good.
It is really good.
That. You know what? What's that other one? It was like Final Fantasy, but it was on like I think it was on the 3DS. I want to say, and it had like that fast forward. I didn't end up liking the game because you have to replay the fucking game like 4 times in a row.
Oh, Bravely Default.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That had a phenomenal job class system, though.
Yeah, I've heard good things, but yeah, I would not want to play the game fucking 4 times to.
Yeah, dude, you get to like a part where you beat this one dungeon and then you have to go through the game like 4 more times.
So,
I did it one more time and then I was like, this is dog shit. You got to play through the game twice, and then I remember someone being like, no, you got to do that 4 times.
okay,
like, man,
so
I'm glad I quit when I did.
There are games that do that I enjoy. Nier is one. To get all the endings, you have to replay the game. Not entirely, but you do have to replay certain segments to get all the endings.
Right.
And so like I don't mind necessarily that as long as it's not like the entire game.
Yeah, it was awful.
Yeah,
It was like, I hated it, man.
Yeah,
And then I heard the latest one is really good, but it's really hard when I've been like burned by a series like that I was like super excited for. I just have a hard time. Like Gundam Breaker 4 is coming out soon, and my buddies are like, we gotta get it. But we bought new Gundam Breaker because like we used to import the Gundam Breaker games all the time.
Yeah.
And then when I was in Japan, they were like, new Gundam Breaker is coming out, worldwide release, first game ever worldwide. And so I'm like fucking messaging my buddies. I'm like, dude, they're finally doing like a worldwide one. We got to support this because we've been importing them all these years. And then it's like a completely fucking different game, and it's dog shit. It's like some high school fucking drama simulator with like really bad fucking mech battles and had nothing to do with the previous 3 games. So Yeah, the new Gundam Breaker came out. I pre-ordered it. It was absolute dog shit. And then now Gundam Breaker 4 is coming out, and like my buddies are all hyped, and like I want to be hyped, but I've been burnt so bad now that I'm like not even looking forward to it. I'm probably not gonna get it.
Do you remember when we played the fucking Overwatch Gundam game?
Yeah, that was fun. I was doing so good in the gun tank for some reason.
Yeah, I was surprised at how fun that was.
It was fun. Dude, blowing up the Sazabi with a fucking gun tank.
If I remember right, I played the sniper, and we actually did pretty well.
Yeah, I think you were like the GM sniper or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's free too.
So, we've been talking about job classes, and I know you wanted to talk about random encounters versus like on-screen encounters. What is your take on that?
So, like I go random encounters all the time, like any day, because for two reasons. The first reason is depending on monster placement, you end up with less fucking encounters sometimes with random encounters anyways. Like look at something like Final Fantasy 13 where it's like you're on in this fucking hallway and you can't like most of the time when people are like saying on-screen monsters, they're like, "Oh yeah, so you can go around the monsters and sneak around them, right? If you don't want to battle and stuff." But then you got games like like Final Fantasy 13 where you can't walk around the monster anyways, and there's like 7 fucking dragons in this hallway, so you end up with more fights.
That's the least of that game's problems, but okay.
Yeah, it is. But there's a lot of games where there's on-screen fucking encounters, and that happens. You end up with fucking more encounters. And then the opposite thing happens too. Like look at Dragon Quest X. How many dungeons did we go through where we didn't even fight a single monster in the dungeon?
Right.
And then as we got later into version 2, they would be like, okay, you have to clear this whole floor of monsters. And I was like, okay, this is better because you actually have to fight something, right? Because like we went through like almost all of version 1 without having to fight monsters in the dungeons unless we were grinding.
Well, and the thing is, like in games like Dragon Quest X, I felt like you got more experience for doing the quest than you actually did fighting the monsters. So the fighting the monsters thing was kind of just your incentive to like play the game, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. Like the goal was not to fight as many monsters as possible and level up. The goal was to get through the monsters, to get to the boss, to get the quest rewards, and to get like the experience from the quest. So my take on this is that I actually don't mind on screen because when they made Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and I know that game is troubled to say the least when it comes to performance. I actually completed the Pokedex on it, and it was because I liked that they put the Pokemon where they should be. Like if you were looking for ice Pokemon, you would go up into the icy mountains and you would go and catch them. If you were looking for like flower Pokemon, you would look in grass or flower fields, or if you were looking for water Pokemon, you would go to rivers and oceans and lakes and stuff like that. And if you were looking for like...
What if you're looking for Garbodor?
It would just be out in the world somewhere. But like...
looking for muck, you're just like going into someone's toilet.
When they announced Scarlet and Violet, I was genuinely excited because I was like, this is the open world Pokemon game that I'd wanted for such a long time. Mm-hmm. And granted, it did have its problems, but it gave me that feeling that I had wanted for so many years finally was happening. Now, if they made a Pokemon MMO that was like a legit Pokemon MMO, not like a fan-made one, I would be all over that because I think like it would be really cool to do an MMO. Like me and you go out and we're tackling the gyms and we're, doing
like
stuff together.
Xenoblade guys to design the world too, so you like want to explore it.
Right. And it's like I like them on screen because I've played a lot of random encounter games. And sometimes
you've been fucked by a lot of Zubats.
Right. And sometimes and sometimes like the RNG for random encounters is so bad.
Yeah, when it's real bad, I don't like it.
And it's like, okay, so Suikoden, for example, Murayama, he designed the game so that if you ran in a certain direction for an extended period of time, the amount of random encounters you would get would actually go down.
Yeah.
And so I am okay with it in those types of scenarios where they design the game to not actively fight against you.
Right.
In that regard.
You also get like no EXP if you're around the level the game wants you to be at.
Right.
In the
Well, and it's like
games.
in Final Fantasy II, you could go into a room and there would be absolutely nothing in it, but you would automatically get a fucking random encounter.
Every time you go to leave.
Every time.
Me.
And it's like the random encounter rate has to be balanced or I really just don't enjoy it. Whereas I feel like on screen enemies, I can either actively avoid or try to avoid unless it's like a 13 scenario, which I'm not going to play that fucking game anyway.
You're not going to play the fucking game anyway.
But
honestly, but here's the other thing is I love grinding. And it's so annoying to grind with on-screen monsters because some games, the monsters don't like respawn. So you'll like kill all the monsters on that area. And then you got to like leave and come back in over and over again.
Right.
And
but
instead of just running back and forth.
The thing is with on-screen encounters in that scenario, for me, if I'm looking to grind a certain enemy, then I don't have to sit there and be like, oh, random encounter number 17, and I still haven't encountered this enemy.
Yeah.
With it being on screen, I can literally find the enemy I'm looking for and grind them that way.
Yeah, that made like I remember in like Dragon Quest 9 that made grinding like liquid metal slimes just like you could just cheese that hardcore, right? Because you just keep going upstairs and downstairs until a liquid metal slime would spawn and then you just chase it kind of thing.
Well, and look at the liquid metal slimes in Dragon Quest X. Like if you had to sit there and wait for a random encounter to get one, you'd be waiting forever, but because you can kind of see them.
Yeah, you can go and chase it and get into the encounter or whatever.
Yeah.
But I feel like 9 times out of 10, I still prefer random encounters. Like I would rather have a game with random encounters where the encounter rate is pretty fucking bad than something like Final Fantasy 13.
Okay, so one thing I did not like about Final Fantasy 1 and getting the platinum in that was getting Warmech. Because the random encounter rate for him is so low.
I did end up fighting him though, but I was so overpowered because I fought him like after I beat the game.
Right, same here.
Yeah. And then it was like because there's like all that build up, man. Like I remember reading in like Nintendo Power magazines about Warmech.
So did I.
And it's like all this like hype, and I had never encountered him until like this year.
Right.
And I was like, fuck yeah, dude, we're gonna fight. I'm gonna fight Warmech for the first time. And then I just dummy fucked him because I was like so over leveled.
Same. So I don't know. I think it'd be better if like Warmech was an on-screen enemy that you could find.
Yeah, like Omega in Final Fantasy V, where you can like track him down. He's like the little robot guy, and you can talk to him and initiate the fight that way.
Right. But I don't know. I think I've always been more of an on-screen guy. Like, I think it is fun in the old Pokemon games to kind of randomly stumble across like a random Arcanine on accident, you know, or you know, something like that. But then
I like that too. Like,
but then you look at like Snorlax being on the main screen, and you're like, that's cool. I get to interact with a Snorlax and catch one.
Yeah.
You know, so
I think I like, you know, when you go in like a pit of grass or like a grass area and like you're looking on like Cerebi and there's like a fucking 5% chance of this one Pokemon you want to show up. So there's something about just like grinding that out that I love. Like
or like ones that you can only find at night or whatever.
Yeah. Like just murdering 50,000 Pidgeys because you're after like this fucking like chick or something that's living in that grass.
And then all of a sudden a Pidgeotto shows up or a Pidgeot, you know?
Yeah.
Because there's like
I always like that too, where like they would throw like a higher evolution in with the little guys.
Right.
Well, and even
That's why
Oh.
randomizers are kind of fun. Have you ever done one of those?
No, I never have, but I
So,
think if I ever were to, I would do a Pokemon one because that
yeah,
would be kind of cool.
I did a Pokemon randomizer one time, and like the first encounter I got was Mewtwo.
No way.
Yeah, it was like a level 5 Mewtwo out in the fucking like
Oh my
Pallet Town
goodness.
grass, and it was
That's
like,
cool.
yeah, it's like you can get that kind of cool stuff with a randomizer, but you know, obviously that's something that's not necessarily in the game already.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
they did the legendaries cool where you could actually see them on screen.
Oh, cool.
You know, do you remember that in the old ones where like
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like
Zapdos,
Jolteon.
Moltres.
Sorry, Jolteon, Zapdos. Yeah.
The one thing I did not like when it came to random encounters was Entei, Raikou, and Suicune.
Yeah, that was dumb because you had to try and like beat them up and then chase them.
Well, you had to try to like figure out where they're at on the map, go to an area that's like adjacent to them, and then go to that area that they're in and try to get them in a random encounter. And if you don't get them within like I think a certain amount of time or a certain amount of encounters, they'll move. And it's like,
yeah.
It
well,
was
and you can keep encountering them, so you want to like status fuck them and stuff, and
right.
get them lower on health. It was a neat concept because it made the world feel a bit more alive, right? Because these things are always going around, but they were annoying as fuck to catch.
Well, and I want to say that there was like a radio station that would point out where they were at certain points, or
they would show up on your map.
Yeah, they'd show up on your map, but I feel like there was either like phone calls you got or
maybe
they
were much better. It was much better done in Soul Silver and Heart Gold, though.
I really like the phone system. Like, I know most of the time it's like...
And then you could do, like, rematches and shit.
Right, I know most of the time it's just, like, your mom or Professor Elm or somebody like...
Or Rattata Joey.
Yeah, or just that and telling you, my Rattata leveled up or whatever, or my
It's the highest
Pikachu
percentile of Rattatas.
Yeah, so it's like...
that guy's the best.
Yeah. So it's like, I kind of get both ways, like, I get both sides of it, but I really like the phone system because it made the world feel alive. Like, these people were calling you and, like, you know, trying to be your friend or your rival or whatever, and it's like, that's the kind of cool shit that I think is the charm.
It gives these, like, very blatant, like, bland or otherwise bland like NPC characters that might be like a one-off write-off some personality, you know,
right?
I mean?
Well, it's like in the original Pokemon where the one youngster says something about wearing shorts in the grass or whatever, and yeah, you know, it's like it's stuff like that adds like a charm to the world. But yeah, when it comes to that stuff like on-screen encounters and turn-based, like random, I think I would probably be in the camp that prefers on-screen more.
Yeah. Big Final Fantasy 13 fan, eh?
No, fucking absolutely fucking not.
13-2's good. You need to play it, man.
I'm good.
It's fun.
I'm good.
You can get Jumbo Cactuar in your party. That's like selling point alone right there.
Yeah. But, so, anything else you want to discuss?
Yeah, there was a third topic, but I don't remember what it was.
I don't remember what it was either.
It's a damn good one, that's for sure.
Well, no, there wasn't a third one. That was the third one because we talked about genre hopping games. We talked about job classes.
Oh yeah, that was all the topics.
Yeah, that was all the topics.
Wow.
All right.
Through this smooth as fuck until just now.
Yeah, really.
I thought.
I blame you.
Thought we had more to go, but
I blame you. This was your fault.
Our time together, it seems, has come to an end. If you enjoyed this video or podcast, please remember to like, subscribe, and turn notifications to all. And also check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Dookie03. Check us out on Spotify or Pornhub, where you'll find all your favorite MILFs.
That want to bang in your area.
Oh, yes, they always want to bang in your area. What's up with that?
Right. I don't know. It seems crazy.
They're just willing to, like, go anywhere.
Right. So, God damn it. We almost made it. Anyway, so that is it for the Gaming Effect episode 18, where we talked about Summer Games Fest, random encounters versus on-screen encounters, genre hopping games, and fucking
Math.
job classes. So, anyway, guys, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to check us out on Spotify, iTunes, and my YouTube channel. And that's about it. So,
That's about it.
be sure to like, subscribe, rate, whatever you want to do to the podcast or its co-host. And that's about it. So I'm your co-host, Alex, aka Soldier First Class.
And I am Corey, aka Dookie03.
And this has been The Gaming Effect, episode 17. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Later, guys.